Sovereign energy, sacred boundaries and relational prosperity. Quantum opening your mind serves as a living laboratory where reality learns to take form and your heart codes the frequency that instructs matter to cooperate. Section 1. Deep Gaze, the landscape of sovereignty. Sovereignty rises as a river that remembers its own source and chooses its own banks. It flows with direction, not from resistance, but from inner clarity. The sovereign being embraces a paradoxical power. Softness that does not collapse, firmness that does not harm, presence that does not demand. This power appears as silent geometry inside the chest, a luminous compass aligning choices, borders, and belonging. The journey begins with an archetypal procession inside the psyche. The lover longs for connection and fusion. The warrior carries steel in the spine and protects what matters. The sage illuminates patterns and consequences. The sovereign organizes the inner kingdom so that each part has a respected place. When these archetypes cooperate, boundaries stop feeling like walls and become porous membranes, where truth circulates and life grows. Relational prosperity blossoms where contact meets clarity. Energy agreements turn explicit. Unspoken contracts dissolve. The body ceases to brace for impact and begins to breathe again. The nervous system loosens its grip on old alarms and starts sensing a future that does not repeat the past. The soul feels invited, not coerced. The will returns home. Inside this sanctuary, the word no sounds like a bell consecrating the temple rather than a weapon. The word yes becomes devotional, not compulsive. Time stretches because survival urgency no longer pilots the calendar. Creativity receives oxygen. Relationships evolve from extraction to exchange. This is not self-protection out of fear, but self-revelation out of love. The boundary is no longer a barricade. It is the shape of your love in motion. Dasi. Section 2. Scientific and psychological foundations. Sovereignty gains stability through the physiology of safety in humanistic psychology. Authenticity and self-acceptance unlock self-actualization in a transpersonal psychology. A sense of meaning binds personal growth to a larger field of unity. These streams meet in your nervous system, where Casmoio polyvagal regulation and one window of tolerance as principles describe how presence becomes possible. Neuroplasticity anchors this work. Repeated experiences of clear, kind boundaries remodel synaptic pathways. The brain learns that closeness can coexist with differentiation. The amygdala no longer flags every request as a threat. The prefrontal cortex stays online and nuanced. The default mode network loosens its loops of self-referential worry. The salience network becomes skilled at distinguishing genuine danger from inherited vigilance. This shifts the attachment blueprint. The anxious system learns containment without abandonment. The avoidance system learns interdependence without engulfment. The disorganized system gathers stable rhythm and a map that makes sense. In humanistic terms, congruence appears. In transpersonal terms, consciousness widens while remaining embodied. The body becomes a trustworthy instrument for discernment. Symbols support the psyche. Imagine your field as a golden vesica piscis. Two circles overlapping, one circle as self, one circle as other. The overlap is we. Prosperity arises when each circle retains coherence while allowing a shared space to form. Collapse of self into other empties the treasury. Collapse of other into self isolates the kingdom. Balanced overlap engineers. Teso, relational wealth. Resources, ideas, tenderness, and time circulate, multiply, and bless all participants. Section 3. Applied biodecoding. The body speaks boundaries. The body archives every treaty you have ever signed. When agreements are misaligned, the body signals. While not diagnostic or a substitute for medical care, symbolic biodecoding offers metaphors that invite release. throat and jaw. Swallowed truths, unsaid limits, biting back words to keep a fragile peace. Shoulders and upper back, carrying what is not yours, becoming the pack animal for other people's urgency. Skin, the living boundary organ, reacting when touch, space, or privacy are trespassed. Gut, difficulty digesting interactions, saying yes while the intestines whisper no. Pelvis and lower back, foundations of self-support and the right to exist without permission. Heart and lungs, grief from overgiving, breath constricted by self-abandonment, love reduced to performance. A path of liberation unfolds through 3 movements. 1. Naming. State the contract that hurts in plain language. Example: I agree to take responsibility for other people's moods. Replace it with the contract that heals. I agree to stand present while others feel without taking over their process. 2. Reclaiming. Retrieve energy from places of chronic overextension. Touch your solar plexus and affirm, energy returns to rightful stewardship. Stand with feet grounded, exhale through the mouth, and sense the inflow back into your core. 3. Renegotiating. Speak the new terms both somatically and verbally. Shoulders widen slightly, jaw softens, eyes relax but remain focused. Say it simply: this works for me, or this does not work for me. The body anchors the sentence anchors the future. As these steps repeat, symptoms often soften because the message has been received and acted upon. The body stops shouting when the soul is finally heard. Section 4. Quantum NLP Tools. Rewriting patterns and installing resources. NLP, in a quantum integrative frame, turns subjective experience into editable code. Submodalities, anchors, reframing, parts negotiation, and future pacing deliver pragmatic magic that the nervous system can trust. DAWI 4.1 Boundary Clarity Reframe. You identify a recent moment where your boundary blurred. Track inner images, sounds, and sensations that accompany the blur. Adjust submodalities. Shrink the image of the other's demand. Move it farther away, lower its volume. Brighten the image of your centered self. Bring it closer. Raise its resolution. Install. A caption across your inner image. I choose clear kindness. Test. By imagining the same moment with the new configuration and notice the internal stance holding firm without aggression. 4.2 The Sovereign Anchor. Select. A bodily gesture that feels dignified, such as placing one hand on the heart and one on the lower belly. Recall. 3 memories of grounded clarity. Step into each memory vividly. At the peak of each memory's felt sense, press thumb to index finger while breathing slowly. Stack the anchor by repeating with multiple strong memories. In future pace, by envisioning tomorrow's conversation while firing the anchor, the body recognizes the state and reproduces it. 4.3 The Energetic Contract Rewrite. Externalize. The old contract in a sentence. Visualize the sentence as text on a parchment. Transform the font to faint gray until it dissolves into light. Write the new contract in radiant gold letters. My love includes my limits. Seal the parchment with a golden signet and place it in your heart field. 4.4 The Sovereign Swish. Starting image. You collapsing your boundary, shoulders slumped, voice small. Target image. You upright, eyes gentle bright, tone clear, boundary spoken. Swish. By making the target image small in the corner of the starting image, on an exhale, whoosh the target to full size while the starting shrinks and fades. Repeat fast 5 to 7 times. Result. The mind automatically prefers the target posture under pressure. 4.5 Parts Integration for Love and Law. Locate the lover part that fears losing connection and the lawkeeper, part that fears losing integrity. Give each part color and warmth. Let them face one another on your inner stage. Bridge mo, them with a ribbon of light representing fierce compassion. Merge us into an integrated sovereign who knows that boundaries extend love by giving it a stable container. 4.6 Language upgrades for prosperity. Replace I should with I choose. Replace I cannot say no with I train my voice to honor my path. Replace I owe everyone my time with I steward my time as sacred currency. Replace I hope someone respects me with I demonstrate how to respect me. 4.7 Micro protocols. During conversations. Breath rule. 1 slow exhale before any answer. Seat rule. Sit back in the chair by 1 inch to feel the spine. Word rule. Speak 1 sentence less than you think you must. Mirror rule. Repeat the essence of what you heard, then state your boundary in 8 to 12 words. Section 5. Spiritual perspective and Christic consciousness. Christic consciousness radiates a field where love recognizes the divine imprint in all beings while sustaining immaculate alignment. Love without boundary dissolves into sentimentality. Boundary without love calcifies into domination. Christic coherence holds both. Open heart, clear line. This consciousness invites the sacrament of limits. The sacred no keeps the altar pure. The sacred yes keeps the altar generous. Spiritual maturity does not seek martyrdom as proof of virtue. It cultivates fierce gentleness that never trades truth for approval. Unity does not erase differentiation, it dignifies it. The one wears many faces, and each face deserves a contour. From this vantage, prosperity ceases to be a scramble for scarce crumbs. Prosperity becomes harmonic circulation. Time, attention, money, creativity, devotion, and skill move across a web of reciprocity. Agreements become devotional architecture. Communities become temples of mutual empowerment. The soul breathes a longer breath because the field feels just and beautiful. This path crafts a golden ethic. Give from overflow, not depletion. Receive with gratitude, not guilt. Serve with clarity, not compulsion. Withdraw with respect, not resentment. Return with presence, not bargaining. Section 6. Integrative ritual. The Temple of Golden Edges. Create a daily practice that unites mind, body, and spirit. Offer 15 to 20 minutes. Maintain consistency for 21 days to consolidate the circuitry. Materials. A white candle, a small bowl of water with a pinch of sea salt, a journal, and a pen. Steps. 1. Threshold. Sit comfortably. Place 1 hand over the heart and 1 over the lower belly. Breathe in for 4, hold for 2, exhale for 6. Repeat 6 cycles. Whisper internally. Peace enters, peace remains, peace radiates. 2. Circle of sovereignty. Visualize a circle of soft golden light around your body. The circle expands to arm's length. The light becomes your living boundary. Permeable to truth and love, reflective to coercion and manipulation. Sense the temperature of safety rise inside the circle. 3. Water consecration. Hold the bowl of salted water. State aloud, I cleanse agreements that are not aligned. Dip fingertips and touch forehead, throat, heart, and solar plexus. Imagine old contracts dissolving like ink in clear water. 4. Candle oath. Light the candle and declare, I keep my inner fire sovereign. Observe the flame and let your spine copy its vertical line. This flame becomes your posture in conversations. 5. Script of clarity. Open the journal. Write 3 sentences. What I allow becomes, what I allow today includes aligned requests, honest collaboration, and respectful timing. What I decline becomes, what I decline today includes pressure, guilt leveraging, and unclear exchange. What I promise myself becomes, I promise to pause, breathe, and answer from my core. 6. Somatic seal. Stand with feet hip-width apart. Slightly soften knees. Press feet into the ground as if they grew roots. On an exhale, trace the golden circle with your attention from head to toe. Sense edges growing vivid and kind. 7. Closing benediction. Extinguish the candle with intention rather than blowing. Whisper the code from section 7. Feel a quiet smile in the heart. Carry this field into your day. Nombre. Affirmations and decrees for installation. My love includes my limits. My boundaries are a blessing to me and to others. My time is sacred currency, and I steward it with grace. Clarity protects innocence and multiplies prosperity. I welcome relationships that honor the geometry of reciprocity. I embody fierce gentleness and generous strength. I regulate, I relate, I rise. Relational prosperity in practice. Prosperity agreements. Become the backbone of thriving relationships and collaborations. Design them as living documents that keep intimacy clear and commerce clean. Time agreement. Define response windows, meeting lengths, and recovery periods. Energy agreement. Specify availability ranges and off-limits hours. Value agreement. Articulate contributions, rates, and exchange formats. Feedback agreement. Commit to timely, specific, compassionate feedback. Repair agreement. Outline steps for misunderstandings, including pause, reflection, acknowledgement, and course correction. Exit agreement. Design a graceful completion path that preserves dignity and continuity. When agreements are explicit, resentment loses oxygen. When reciprocity is honored, generosity expands. When both parties practice sovereign presence, the field becomes fertile for art, healing, innovation, and shared joy. Micro-embodiments for everyday sovereignty. The one-breath reset. Exhale longer than you inhale whenever you feel pulled to self-abandon. The shoulder widening. Subtly broaden your collarbones during hard moments to signal dignity to your nervous system. The 8-word boundary. This works for me, or this does not work for me. The calendar sanctum. Schedule creative solitude as a non-negotiable tithe to your future. The prosperity pause. Pause for 10 seconds before saying yes to any exchange of money, time, or attention. The gratitude tether. Anchor every no inside a yes to your deepest values. Verto. Case vignettes for integration. A. The overgiver has felt important by rescuing others. After anchoring the Kanta sovereign breath and installing the La 8-word boundary, energy returned to the core. Work hours reduced, income stabilized through aligned clients, and friendships deepened through honest pacing. B. The diplomat of silence. Kept peace by hiding truth. The Pita's throat ritual. Released pressure. The inner parchment contract changed from, I must not upset anyone, to, I respect others by telling the truth kindly. Conversations became shorter, cleaner, and more fruitful. C. The guardian behind walls. Protected with distance. Parts integration reconciled the lover and the lawkeeper. The barrier softened into a membrane. A new partnership emerged where closeness and freedom supported each other. Ductor. Lifestyle weaves for long-term stability. Nutrition of boundaries. Eat in rhythms that teach safety to the gut. A movement of sovereignty. Choose practices that lengthen the exhale and widen the back. Yoga, Qigong, ecstatic slow walking. Digital hygiene. Designate device curfews and notification sabbaths to protect attention as holy ground. Space ecology. Keep a chair, a corner, or a desk that belongs only to your creative soul. Community of clarity. Cultivate companions who celebrate your limits as evidence of your love, not as a threat to theirs. Troubleshooting map. If guilt rises, place a hand on the sternum and say, "This is the body learning a new safety." Exhale longer. If anger spikes, allow heat as data without turning it into debris. Move it through hips and legs. Speak later from cool clarity. If confusion clouds, write the 2-column script, what I allow and what I decline, until the fog thins. If old patterns return, fire the sovereign anchor and run the sovereign swish 5 times. If isolation grows, revisit the Vesica Pisces image and rebuild the we space consciously with someone who honors it. Dombesis, devotional economics, the art of exchange, relational prosperity thrives in transparent exchange. Name the value, name the limits, name the rhythm. Bless money as concentrated permission to move resources wisely. Treat attention as a sacrament, not a scavenger. Allow generosity to be luminous and informed. Permit receiving to be strong and humble. Consider every agreement as a palm prayer with edges. DEFI, daily mini-practice summary. 3 breaths into spine and belly. Whisper the decree, clarity is kindness. Touch the throat gently to honor truthful voice. Write the 2-column script in under 2 minutes. Choose 1 aligned yes and 1 aligned no for the day. High vibration closing. Master phrase. Clarity is the kindness that teaches love to endure. Quantum challenge. Next 24 hours. Craft 1 boundary in 8 to 12 words and speak it once with calm tone and open chest. Record the effect in your journal and bless any discomfort as a sign of growth. Activation code. I am golden edge. I am tender law. I am open heart in perfect alignment. Con amor, Andrew.